What's going on? Dude,
What's going on, bro?
nothing much, bro. Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm here with your usual host, Keith Armstrong, with my brother Juquarry. Damon Armstrong is going to be on presently. We're here today. The three of us. We don't have a special guest today. I guess the three of us are our special guests. So our goal is today is to address a couple things that we usually talk about amongst us that we want to bring to you guys. Okay. And before I do anything, let me do some housekeeping things. Okay. Um, First of all, excuse the lag in my computer. You know, my laptop moved like my joints, like it's got arthritis in it or something. But
Mine too.
basically, I want you guys to do us a favor. We bring these things to you because first and foremost, we enjoy each other's company, and we feel like we're sitting in, beside you guys as we talk about it while you're observing us. But the thing that I really would like you guys to consider is to go to our YouTube channel because we got a lot of content there. Not compared to other places, but we got enough for us. Go like, subscribe, and share. Especially like and share and subscribe, really, because the more that we get these things done, the more we'll be able to reach other people. And that's our point, because we always say this every podcast. We do this for everyday people. That's important. It's going to start resonating with you guys, when it's going to sink in what we mean exactly. Because I consider myself an everyday person in the sense that I'm living this life trying to make things work, trying to make things happen. I believe my brothers also feel that and Juquarry can concur, Damon also, they some special motherfuckers, but also everyday people too. So make sure you go, mess with our content and, just check us out. With that being said, Juquarry, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been down bad, man, for a minute. I messed around and Tuesday morning, man, I got hit with my sciatica, and then my doggone gout started acting up on me, man. Shit, I was praying for better days, man.
Yes, sir.
Praying for better days, for real, man. But I done got that. I done got a little relief on the gout. My back's still bothering me, but beggars can't be choosy.
There it is. Hey, look, and I tell you, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I would rather have the back pain than the gout.
Oh
Cause
man, I couldn't walk. I was all drawed up and shit. Now, I can't let my wife know because she jug at my foot and shit.
of
Like,
course,
man,
of
but
course.
what's wrong with you?
Leave me alone.
Yeah,
You
I'm saying,
know.
you know what, man? I've been thinking lately, man. To get us a couple more subscribers, man, we might have to start singing to
Hey, look, I can hum. You know what I mean? Yeah,
them.
you got a pretty, you got a pretty good voice, but I can hum.
I
You and
don't,
Damon, y'all carry a tune. So
I don't know if I can carry two, man. I can sell that motherfucker though, man. I made people believe it. Like shit.
look, a smoking crooner.
Yeah, shit. When I'm
Yeah,
doing karaoke, I smoke while I'm singing. Shit,
yeah.
people be amazed. Yeah. I've been working on us a song too, man, a theme song.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's kind of bluesy.
Well, I mean, you working on it like you want to share it with the audience, or you good?
No, I mean it's right now. It's in the creative states or whatever, man.
Okay,
Because I got a couple of words or whatever, but I'm trying to find some music. It's kind of like got a bluesy tone to it.
got you, got you, got you, got you. I understand. Well, we looking forward to that. You know,
Yeah, man. Shit, I'm gonna work on it, man. When I feel confident enough, I'm gonna bring it out.
no doubt, no doubt. Well, look, um, what I when I sent out the notification,
Hmm.
I sent out three, I guess, question question / statements that each one of us chose to address for this episode. You know,
Right.
just to let you guys know, mine has to do with the dynamic
Sorry.
in the relationship between the men and women of our community. And what it is it's a personal observation of what I see. Because I understand that I have a small window as far as seeing life because it's only my 57 years, only where I choose to look or listen. So it's more or less I'm looking forward to go in and really share with you and Damon, what's on my mind and we're gonna wait a couple minutes to see if he's gonna be able to get on. But this to share what's on my mind. If not, we'll just go ahead and then he can jump in, he can tag in when he's ready. And did you remember your question, Juquarry?
You broke up. What'd you say?
Do you remember your question?
Yeah, my question was as far as our community goes, man. Do we have a mentality of uniformity? You know what I mean? What I mean, but you wrote it down. Could you just read the question real quick, man? Because I want to get it in my head real.
Okay. It said, what is the definition of seasonal uniformity in our community?
Mm-hmm.
Does uniformity transcend the material into the mental in our community?
Mm-hmm. Well, what I meant by seasonal uniformity, man, was uh and we've always had a sense of style or perception of style. But that being said, I mean, even though we know how to take different fashions or whatever and rock them in unique ways or whatever, the bottom line is it's the same fashion that everybody else is buying. It's and the current stuff that's out in the world. You know, everybody's going through like a skinny jean phase right now. Back in the days, everybody had a Jerry curl. Everybody who was somebody had a Max Julian coat back when I was in, doggone middle school. Everybody got to have, at least a couple of pairs of Jordans. And Jordans, I mean, they haven't changed. They haven't changed designs in the last, 15, 20 years. They're reselling the same Jordans, but we keep going out and buying them. Why is that?
Well, look, waiting in lines that's crazy,
They're
crazy lines.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That in some cases can be dangerous, man. We do some of this. We do harm to each other for a pair of shoes, man. As a status symbol. To attain a pair of shoes as a status symbol, we'll do harm to each other.
Yeah.
Because I know dudes who get these shoes, man, and don't even wear them. Don't even wear them.
I think
You know,
that I
and
think that's most of the culture though, Jaquari, because people, for some reason, sneakers have become a status symbol. We loved our sneakers back in the day now, but we bought them to wear them.
Yeah, and we loved them. We loved them, and that meant that we took care of them. Now I could take a. I mean, I've got sneakers, man, that I've had for 10 years. But the way I take care of them, I mean, I don't keep them in boxes or anything like that. But when I want to wear them, I know how to take me grab my toothbrush and some Dawn dish detergent, man, and go along and scrub them up, make them look good or whatever. I know how to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, but I mean, material possessions, man, have just you know all but done away with our moral compass in some situations, man. I hate to say it, because a lot of times, man, I feel like some of the statements I make uh can be potentially offensive to black people, but I think they got to be. It's got to be said. This stuff's got to be put out there because a lot of trends or whatever. I get on myself because I don't want to be left behind just because I happen to have that. I happen to have had like a conscious some kind of conscious thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I want to know why these things happen to us. I want to know why. You know, why fashion and being looked upon as trendsetters is so important to us. You know,
Okay.
people talk about cultural appropriation and everything. Well, yeah, you stole that from hip hop and so and such and such. I mean, but where did hip hop get it from?
Mm.
I mean, you look at all the rappers, man. Like when rappers was like wearing sweatsuits and gold chains, and who was doing that first, man? Italian gangsters was doing that first.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was never, like that was not really important to us until a certain sect of our community, a certain section of our community told us that it was important to us.
Mm.
You know, I work
Okay.
and I work with young folks, and every so often I'll ask them, have you like when you go shopping or whatever, do you buy clothes because you like them or because they happen to be the current trend? And if you're honest with yourself and you figure out that I bought this because everybody else is buying it, then how much does that mindset of conformity, that mindset of uniformity, how much does that bleed over into your mental state? You know, I work with a pop. I'm working with a population, man, who are still getting arrested and in some cases convicted over the things that they put on the internet.
Oh
You go
yeah.
on Instagram, yeah, you go on Instagram. These dudes are felons with gun charges, but they're still taking pictures with guns and money. And it ain't even much. It's not even a lot of money.
Maybe
But why
maybe
are you
it's a,
still doing it?
maybe it's about an ego, man. Maybe it's about wanting to be famous because I just want to make a comment on what you said earlier as far as clothing is concerned. In
Mm-hmm.
our community, that was the one thing that we had that, and this is my assumption. This is my assumption of it all is
Mm-hmm.
to have a nice suit, and we're going way back. To have a nice suit, you couldn't get you and look good in it. It couldn't be taken away from you. To carry yourself in quote unquote that dignity, which clothes is associated with that. Material things is associated with status. To be able to do that, and then when you actually possess it, it makes you feel better about you because you think about it. And guys, when I say this, I really mean this, but I don't mean it's the gospel. It's how I feel about it. When you are being told that you're lesser, even in a good-hearted sense, you've been told you're lesser. You got to cling on to something. And material things are the things that you cling on to. The easiest material thing you can cling on to: clothes, shoes, a phone. It's the easiest thing to cling on to, right? Because if we was really, now back in the day, land, our ancestors, forefathers, foremothers, land was the material thing to hold on to, right? But then,
It still is if you can get it.
but that's my whole point though. It was actively sought. You know what I mean? Like houses, actual property. It was actively sought because that is the sign of wealth, because you can parlay that property into a lot of things that can be generational, right? But then when we got into it where in our minds, and this is my opinion about it, in our minds, we get that validation because we got this fly uniform on. Our whole situation is fly, right? From the flyweight collars to the Adidas sweatsuits to the baggy jeans to the skinny jeans to whatever. You know what I mean? It was a Band-Aid putting on the wound of lower economic status.
Yeah, I mean, but it got out of hand though, man. It got out
Right.
of hand with skinny jeans, man. It got out of hand when these rappers was running around in skirts and stuff like that, man. I mean, if that do what you do. I have nothing against it. I wouldn't, and I don't want to do that myself.
Yeah.
But it seems, man, like especially with us, man, high fashion, is being equated to, femininity. I mean, has it always been like that? I don't know if it's always been like that. I mean, Jerry curls was kind of feminine, yeah.
Perms.
Perms are feminine.
I thought, look,
yeah.
Some perms can look fly, right? But to keep it real a buck, it's kind of feminine by the standards of the world. Let me put it like that.
Dudes where we come from was wearing finger waves, Keith.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, walking around looking like Josephine Baker in the head. I'm like, come on, man, like that. And these was gangsters. These was tough dudes.
Yeah.
Like dudes.
I want people to understand we're not making fun of these guys. This is the actual fact. What was going on? Like when during the time that this is my personal thing. During the times when it was Jerry curls wasn't for me. Not because I thought it was womanly and nothing like that. No, it's too much of a mess. It was too much of a mess for me. You know what I'm saying?
Was.
And too much of a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? To keep it up. And the finger waves. I used to think the finger waves was wide. I liked waves though. The little small ones that guys can get, right? But folks out there, what the finger waves was about. Them big old long waves. And I say again, I didn't think, oh man, look at you, look like a girl. No. That it was this like, yo, I don't know if I have the responsibility to actually take care of that kind of thing.
Cause dude could just get his hair done, and 3 days later, he walking around his head looking like a wet mop. Like, and that's another. I mean, like we didn't used to get our hair done, man. We used to get our hair cut.
Yeah, but you know what they did back in the day? They did go through the concholine, where you burn your hair, just to get that. And basically, it was a hardcore finger wave, is what it was.
Yeah, that pompadour.
Yeah, the lie. Yeah, it will put lie in your head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just to straighten your hair out and straighten your kink out. So
Mm-hmm.
it all. I see Damon keeps trying to come in, but he's not clicking in. But we're gonna be patient. But yeah, it's basically what you. Okay, let me see if I understand as far as your what you were saying about your question.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way I received it from you, more or less, that when it comes to trying to fit in uniformly,
Mm-hmm.
we put ourselves in silly. No, not silly. That's not the wrong word. We put ourselves in situations that we normally don't do, right? Because perfect example, skinny jeans. Honestly,
Yeah.
that was a fad. It still is, I guess, but that's a fad that people made themselves like.
Yeah.
And
I
same
mean,
as baggy jeans, made themselves like that fad
yeah.
because it has
Yeah.
no practicality and it don't look nice. It don't look nice.
Yeah.
No,
I
and I'm
mean,
not
you
talking
you
about from that masculine, oh man, you got your ass out. You know what that mean in prison. That ain't what I'm talking about. It look,
mm,
and okay, I'm an old head, but really and truly, youngins tell me, how does that look good? You know what I'm saying? How
yeah.
does it look good?
Yeah. You got a pair of skinny ass pants on, but it's like a uniform because they always have big bulky ass shoes on.
Yeah, yeah,
Skinny pants and big ass shoes. I don't what the hell?
I get it.
But I mean
Because
that's
remember, and you was a little young, but it's still around your time. The Lee jeans, where they were tight,
mm-hmm,
right? Not skinny,
mm-hmm,
but they was tight. They were straight-legged jeans, right? That people would wear.
yeah.
I got big ass thighs and big ass calves, man. And plus, back in the day, they wasn't making clothes for me. I was, between the age of
No.
the height of 6'5" and 6'9". In them
Yeah.
days, they wasn't making clothes for me. You know what my godsend was? Honestly, my godsend was, and this is no lie, was when baggy jeans became in style. I was able
Mm,
to find jeans to fit me. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm,
real. There's no doubt about
mm-hmm.
it. You know. But go ahead, Spoke. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, 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 you cut me off. But then I mean, then for me, man, I and maybe that's where where I'm all perplexed at, man, because I ain't never had access to cute stuff neither.
Mm-hmm.
I always had to make whatever I had to make it work for me or whatever. So as far as the trash fashion trends or whatever, I was never able to follow, and I kind of couldn't follow 'em, and it made me frustrated to a point, to a certain point.
Yeah.
But it being on the outside looking in at something that's really popular, you know, and having a state of mind where you can analyze these things. Once I got over my bitterness for not being able to wear that shit, I'm like, man, everybody's looking the same. Everybody's looking the same. What was it? When I first moved to North Carolina, what was it 2005?
No, it's
And
2000,
everybody
wasn't it?
had 2000. I left in
Yeah.
2005. But everybody was walking around in them white t-shirts that went down to their knees.
Oh my God, man. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, everybody was walking around in them white t-shirts that was down to their knees.
Well,
And
tall
I'm like, well, is
tees.
this
Tall tees. Yeah.
yeah, tall, yeah. And I'm like, well, is this dude, are these dudes Muslims or what's going on? Not that that's a bad thing, but they just all standing out on the block. Everybody's looking the same in
Mm-hmm.
a long white t-shirt.
Yep.
I used to call them liquor store t-shirts. You go into any credible liquor store and buy 5 for $20.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's real.
Which now, now that I think about it, man, it would have been cool for me, man, because it was nothing like that. It was nothing like that when I was coming up. I could have used some of them deals.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. And it was easy access, and you fit in right away. It didn't have no designer print on it at all.
Yeah, it was just it was just regular. Yeah, but the
Yeah,
tall tees or whatever,
yeah,
I get it them motherfuckers, and it'd just be a regular t-shirt.
a regular T-shirt. Yeah, I tell
Yeah.
you the funniest thing about it is I tell people this all the time. The reason why I love fashion, right? But I'm not fashion conscious. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
wear. I always tripped out how one year Keith wanted a Gucci buckle.
Mm-hmm.
For Christmas. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, you gonna get it for him, Keith? Yeah. I said, well, how much are it? When I found out how much it was, I said, a buckle. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
my point is, it ain't about the money. It's about what you're willing to pay for it, man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
folks is willing to see. My saving grace was they didn't make clothes for me, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a basic dude, man. And the thing about it,
Mm-hmm.
I was not only tall, you know, I was big too. So if I ran across something, was pure godsend. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't go on the regular store. I couldn't do anything like that. I remember when
Mm-hmm.
they used to, when I was in college, it was the Joe College look, the preppy look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With your Lacoste, uh, your alligator on your shirt. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
polo wasn't even crazy then. It was always the alligator. You had one of them Jones, right? And you had a pair of jeans, Lee jeans, Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight legged joint, boot cut. Everybody in college had them, walking around. Either they got a Letterman jacket on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with a book bag. Everybody walking
Yeah.
around with they sneakers. Now, we ain't had no forces or nothing like that then. But you got
Mm-hmm.
on some like what Converse sponsored us, sponsored our team. So we was rocking the Converse all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then Nike came. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes when you go against the grain, you don't have a choice. And that was me. Because
Yeah.
I look back on it, and especially in my wilder days, I had more confidence. When I
Mm-hmm.
look at the pictures, I had more confidence than I had gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sold myself because I would look at the
You
gear
had
I
to.
had on. I was like, motherfucker, you went to a club with that shit on, man? Damn, you got your
Yeah.
shirt tucked in like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it was all confidence, bro, that I was
Yeah.
successful. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? In that world, I was successful because of the confidence I had. It wasn't the gear that I had on at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So let me ask you this question: Do you think we get too caught up in this base? This off of your question. Do we, as a community, get too caught up on the status of that? You know what I'm
We
saying?
definitely, we definitely do, man. Because I mean, our status symbols are often, kind of compete with our moral point of view. I think,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody, just being like I don't want to say a victim, but being a person, like yourself who couldn't buy all the cute shit and dress, like everybody else and be fashionable at that time in my life. You know, the clothes I was wearing, even if I had to wash my shit in the tub, man, it was clean. But it wasn't what everybody else was wearing. So I would be targeted. I would be targeted, and that's but that was one of the things, man, that it kind of like as far as playing the dozens and everything, man, it sharpened my tongue, man, it sharpened my mind. You know what I mean? Because as much as I was a target, you know, at first, after a while, you know, dude, you was gonna avoid me because you know
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you have it.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you
I
have it
tell
for
I
real, for
tell
real.
people I tell people the same thing because of my gear. My tongue became sharper and my hands became heavier. You know what I'm saying? And it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. So
Hmm.
I never played games like that with other people, and I made sure
Hmm.
they understood. And I'm not playing. You can't play them with me, because it's all about respect. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I'm not gonna say something to somebody, and I know they'll say something to me, and I'll become enraged. I'll be angry. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I'm not going to invite shit on me like that. I can't do that shit. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's the so to close out what you're talking about, do you have a statement on how you feel? Because I know you asked the question, but how you feel about it?
Yeah. I feel, man. You know, uh, presentation is important. Presentation is definitely important, man. But you know, being a skilled conversationalist, man, being approachable, being a person, being down to earth, it's just as important as looking the part, as they say. You know, because rarely do you find a complete package. You know, because if you got a person who is dressing nice and is always looking nice and so and such and such, that's probably just about all that person's got to offer. Now, I'm speaking in generalities or whatever, but I know a lot of people, and I don't, I mean, no judgment or anything because I'm quite sure they'd have something, to to critique about me. So I'm not making a character judgment here. I'm just saying, like for me, it's strange for a 50-year-old man to be walking around in a pair of skinny jeans. It just is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And and I chuckled a little bit because really and truly, now this is my own opinion. It may not be true because they might be one of those fashion conscious people, and them cats might be able to rock it, right? But
Mm,
I'm not gonna shame you because you jumping on a fashion. Now I'm not gonna commit ageism on you, right? But what you just said was it's peculiar to see somebody 50 years old trying to keep up with these current trends because it's not. First of all, skinny jeans is not new. I'm not talking about within the last 10 years. No, not new because I mentioned it before. We
oh
wore
man.
straight-legged tight jeans when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Especially cats from Detroit. They wasn't skin tight, but they were snug. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They were
Mm-hmm.
snug. You know?
What was
So
if you ever if you ever want to see some funny shit, man,
uh-huh.
go on YouTube and look up what was it Melly Mel
Yeah.
and the Furious Five, that video
Yeah.
they had.
The way
I
that
think what was
yeah,
it for White Lines or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Them dudes was tight and they was walking around with feathers in their hair and shit, and I'm
But
like,
see,
look at
you
these
know what
motherfuckers.
you know why they did that, man, which is crazy. Which is crazy.
Can y'all hear me?
They Yeah, we can hear you, brother. Welcome to you.
Welcome, bro.
We, they wanted to dress like rock stars. That's why they did it. You feel me? Because they was dressing like the Barcades, Ohio players. Think about their gear. They were dressed like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and
So it's funny the way we look at rap music. That's the cool suave form of music. So you can't play yourself with anything. But yo, I love what was with White Line. There's a couple of joints, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny how trends are. You gotta think about it. This is, just to close it up, and then I'm gonna have Damon comment on this. Close it up. The flyaway collars, man, with the different color print. I would kill somebody for one of them Johns back in the day, right? Like, kill them. Like, man, I wish I used to sit up in the damn platform shoes. I would kill somebody for that. But you look at it now, I'm talking about you looking at it personally. Now you be like, man, ain't no fucking way.
Fucking way, man.
Yeah.
Even watching Paris, like Lamont, and Bravo, you spent around with y'all about to kill y'all.
Yeah. And it always hurt people's back and everything. You know what I'm saying? People's backs was messed up from them platform shoes. You know what I mean? So Damon, how you feel, brother? My sciatica. You good, man?
Back fucked up, but I look good, man.
Yeah,
right,
man. My internet man on the fritz, y'all. So you have to bear with me.
I got you. Well, look, I tell you what. Let's get your impression of Juquarry's question. Then we'll move on to mine, and then we'll end with yours. Okay?
All right.
What do you think about the uniformity of our community? Are we materialistic? Do we depend solely on the materialistic part of everything? Do we try to make it define who we are?
I think all of the above. You know what I'm saying? Some people wear clothes, man, to fit in. Some people wear, the type of clothes they wear because it makes them feel good. And a lot of people do it for status, man. Name brands and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely something that drives the community. To wear certain designer stuff. And I think that lasts for most people. I think that trendy stuff lasts to a certain age. Once you get your mid-30s and up, you're pretty much looking for your own style then. You know what I mean? What fits you, what makes sense. Because you think about it, man, when you see a cat 54 years old and he dressing like he one of 20-year-olds, he looks absolutely ridiculous, man.
Look. That's what Juquarry just said.
It's true. It's true. And if you got grown kids, they looking at you like, hey man, come on, man.
Yeah.
No.
Now look.
Daddy, you got to stay out of my jeans, man.
Look. Look. They rather see me in dad jeans than walking around in skinny jeans, man. So,
yeah.
And what they call them, the blue jean shorts, jorts or whatever. I never understood that. Yeah, they talk about if you wearing blue jean shorts, these young folks talking about you, dude. What is that? Yeah, they call them jorts or some shit, man.
And that's my thing, man. Even though I might be entertained by what somebody got on, I'm not gonna judge him for what he got on. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Like the old heads, our uncles. They would have the Lisa short suit on with the hard bottoms and the long calf length fucking black socks.
Thick and thin socks, Jack.
Hey, look here.
Goddamn right.
Look here.
Hey, the motherfucker.
The 2P joints was hitting it though, man.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just talking about
what they call them, walking suits.
And
walking suits and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's
You
my
definitely,
thing. But it's
like you,
stylish though. But see, that's not our taste. See, that's the key to it. Like it's their taste. They was rocking that because, it looked good to them back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But as you get, because everything in fashion gets recycled, man, which is hilarious to me.
yeah.
It's true, but the one thing I couldn't get with, man, is them cats that walked around with them cotton sweatsuits on with the Stacey Adams and shit, man. You ever see
Yeah.
cats walking around like that?
Look, that gangster gear. That's that
Man,
gangster gear right
that's
there.
that, dude. I'm talking about the the sweat tops and the sweatpants, and it got a crease in them, and they folded around down by the stick. I'm like, man, dude. First time I saw that, man, I was like, hey, man, this dude for real, dog.
Yeah,
What is that?
yeah.
But
Look, yeah,
to
no,
each his own.
let me ask y'all this question. Y'all remember the raw silk shirts though, man? I had a couple of those when I was in
Oh
college.
man.
Boy. Had to rock them joints, man. But you know why I stopped wearing it? Which is crazy. I didn't know how to wear a damn matching color T-shirt with them shits, so I used to sweat them motherfuckers out, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Worst fashion mistake I ever had, I ever made in my life, man. My freshman year at Ypsilanti High School, because that was like $25 a piece, right? That was like way
yeah,
out of my shopping budget.
yeah.
But I talked Ma and Pop. They took me down to Detroit, and I bought these. It was red, a red one and a blue one. I sweat the motherfuckers out so bad. When I got home after wearing both of them, I had to throw the motherfuckers away, man. I mean, I had to throw them away.
Yeah.
My first day of school, man. I don't know if y'all was there. I don't know if y'all remember Coach Jeremo. Coach Jeremo, he was the head of varsity.
Yeah.
When I got to Ipsy High. Now I'm walking around, I was sweating this shit. He called me to his office. He was like, "Armstrong, look, it's a nice shirt, man. It's a nice shirt, but you got to take that off, son." He gave me a Ypsilanti Braves football shirt, and I put that son bitch on, and shit, I was good from then. I wore that shirt once a week.
Look here, Uncle Essie might kill me for telling this story. Y'all remember that story with him and Uncle Kenny? He said, well, for like 3 weeks. He said, hey, man, we won't need my thirst, man. We ain't gonna bring my thirst, man. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks passed. We sit in the living room. We say, now see, man, everybody in the house know, man, I've been asking you for my thirst, man. You know what I'm saying? What's the problem, man? You gonna, he said, man, I will bring them. He said, I will bring them next weekend. So next weekend come, he had them on the hanger. He had them on the hanger. It was about 3 of them. He had them on the hanger, and he had them on with Kenny. He said, what's that, man? He said, he said, no, man, them your shirts, man.
It's your shit. Oh yeah,
He said, them your shirts. Them ain't mine.
Over
Yeah.
3 weeks, man. You need to pay me some money. You done bought them
Look.
motherfuckers.
Uncle, instead of putting them in the cleaners, Uncle Essie washed them. He washed them, and they was messed up and wrinkled and all. Uncle Kenny looked at me and said, them ain't my shirts, man. Them yours.
Yeah.
Man, you had to be there. It was the funniest shit, man.
Yo, so
You
let
said-
me ask you a question, Damon.
He said, you keep those.
I'm wondering, as far as the pecking order is concerned, did you want to approach your question right now, or do you want to wait for me to do mine?
You go ahead and do yours, man, because I got on late and I was in such a, I was kind of in a disarray a little bit. So, give me time to gather my thoughts and, get warmed up.
It's such of a dizzy razzle, man. A dizzy razzle.
Did you rap?
All right, look. I think, and this has always been my issue. I'm on my question was the dynamics of the relationship between men and women in our community. So I listen, and I only have a small window, like I said earlier, I only have a small window of my life that I can judge from and just come to conclusions from, right? And I wanted to really and truly approach this conversation because it's a gigantic conversation. But it has to be a conversation that's done without your ego. So you can hear the truth in what's going on. See, I've been with my wife since 1986, 87. So that's a gigantic relationship, right? And we've had our ups and downs, and we've been, loving at each other's throat, but the majority of the time, because we know each other so well, we bicker, right? So it made me start to really and truly evaluate if I'm doing something wrong, is she doing something wrong, or is it the fact that we don't see what it's really about? Now understand, brothers, this is how I feel. The funny thing about it is we depend, to me, in which I try not to do, but we depend so much on the outside definition of what a relationship should be. Right now, in these days and times, relationships is governed by your financial contribution as a man. And then what's coming in a close second is your virility as a man. How you satisfy your wife in the bedroom. And then the third thing, which they say is important, but is in the far off distance. Third is how you communicate with your wife. Right? But each one of the things I just named is actually a one-sided thing, isn't it? When it comes to the pressure of quote-unquote good men, it is a one-sided relationship, in my opinion. And once we understand it's a one-sided relationship. Now, side note, I believe you should be selfish as a man to receive it just as much as you give. But really and truly, guys, is that realistic in our community? And I'm not saying the women got the wrong thing going on. No, it has nothing to do with it. It's the simple fact that we are so guarded in our teaching. We hold on to our teaching, even though our teaching don't feel right. Like the one notion is your woman should never see you cry, right? Which is crazy. So you trying to look non-human to your woman because you don't have any emotion. You see, that in itself, and that example, I picked that example for this. When I started to develop emotions, family emotions, was when I had my first child. And I understood what it meant to be in a relationship with somebody who gave me something precious. No matter where my selfishness lied at that time, my view of my current wife changed when my first son was born. We weren't married at the time, but she went from girlfriend to life mate in my eyes in that hospital room. Right? I bring that up to say, just because you come to these gigantic epiphanies, these revelations and all that, don't mean your partner come up with it at the same time. Because if she's taught, and I'm throwing this out, this is rhetorical. If she's taught that a man is only supposed to be a provider, a protector, and he good, you're gonna lose out because you're gonna become resentful, right? That's my personal sense of it. Now I'm gonna bring it into the worldview. In our community, the male and female roles are defined by the people looking from the outside in, who are not even a part of our community, but they want to teach us how we should act, how we should be as people. Stereotypes is a form of conditioning. They make some shit up to make them feel comfortable. So when I say they, in general, make some shit up to feel comfortable, and also to train that person, that group of people that they're stereotyping. So I have a question for both of you guys. Partially it was reacting what I said, partially from what I want to know how you feel. Did the outside make our community, between men and women in our community, make that relationship adversarial? Damon, we'll start with you.
Did the outside community make it adversarial? I think that the people that don't know any better, of course, it can have some type of effect. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the relationships between man and woman in our community, we have to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's innate in a woman to find somebody who's protective and who's a provider, and you know what I'm saying? And what's the third? Protective, provider, and those things that make us feel secure. That's just things that's innate in females. Man. You know what I'm saying? And going in a relationship, if you decide that you want to be in a relationship with a woman, you come to understand that. You know what I'm saying? And you do whatever you can to make sure that you're taking care of yours. Because that's the big misconception that the outside don't understand about our people. You know what I'm saying? When we decide that we want to have a family, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about most of us. You know what I'm saying? When we decide we want to have a family and we pick a mate, we know that we're taking on that responsibility of keeping them safe and providing and all of those different things. You know what I'm saying? We make it a point to do that, you know, and that's loving from a man's point of view. See, the outside don't recognize that because they want to see us. Yeah, there are some elements, man, that they pour into our community to try to influence our relationships. Absolutely. You know, just for a couple examples, black men don't take care of their kids, which we all know is a lie. How many brothers you know that don't take care of their kids? You know what I'm saying? You can't even fill up one hand. I know in my life I can't. Most brothers I know do. But outside communities try to make that stereotype that. Make it that point, make it that that's an issue with us. The other is that we can't protect our women. You know what I'm saying? That we can't protect our women. Hell, they've been doing that since they brought the first slaves over. And they start beating them in front of their women. Hey, he can't protect you. So they go find the biggest, strongest, whatever they can to make an example of it. It's a psychological thing. But we all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. So, as far as who and what we are as a community, I think that, in terms of your question, I think that it is something that happens to us at an early age. But once we start getting into those relationships with our significant others, we understand that it's not that at all. You know what I'm saying? And people don't know. You know, people don't know. You start looking for your mate, man, in your 20s, in your mid 20s and up. You start looking for your mate. You start looking for somebody you can build something with. In your mid 20s, 26 on down, you know what I'm saying? You're doing what you want to do. But when you get to that point and you start in your career, you start in your life, and you want to have something, you looking for that woman or man that's going to help you build something. Before, but you still have that element of, what kind of car you driving. You know what I'm saying? Do you live with your mama? You know what I'm saying? How you dress? All that silly shit. You know what I'm saying? And what people don't realize is that all that can be obtained together. You know what I'm saying? Together. It don't have to be something that's separate. Because my wife might come to the conclusion that I spend too much damn money on sneakers and shit. You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, look, let's look at some sales or whatever. I don't know that. I'm learning. When you're dealing with relationships, my last point, when you're dealing with in true lasting relationships, man, you learn together. You learn together. You know what I'm saying? And you go through the actual process, and the process is shopping together. You know what I'm saying? Spending vacations together, understanding what your likes and dislikes are. You know what I'm saying? You learn that, and it all grows in unison. And the outside, and then whatever happened on the outside really don't matter, because one of the real evils in the world, man, is that element that tried to destroy man and woman relationships, especially black people. Especially black people try to destroy it and try to stereotype it and all that. You just got to stay vigilant, man, and realize that if you have a problem with your significant other, and there are some personal things said, that's because they know you better than anybody. They know your soft spots, man. You feel what I'm saying? And it's more personal. But if you understand it, you're like, okay, now I must have did some shit. For you to go that deep, I must have did some shit. Let's sit down and talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you had to have that maturity. You got to be able to, have that type of patience. I hope I answered your question, but I was trying to process a lot when I was listening to you.
Okay. Juquarry.
Yeah, that's a funny question, man. I mean, as far as outside influences, on relationships go, man. I mean, as much as you like to think, you try to rationalize those and and properly compartmentalize the outside or whatever, it still has a major effect, or still can have a major effect on the household. It really can. I mean,
No doubt.
I'm an outgoing person. Always been an outgoing person, but in social settings, especially with when I'm with my wife, her preference is for me to be more subdued, quiet, aloof. To have uh, a perception of a bad attitude. I mean, not being as approachable as I am, and that's not real easy for me to do. It's not real easy for me to do, man. I like attention. I like positive attention. So a lot of times, there can be situations where we butt heads. You know, and over, I'd say the last few years, man. I've especially when we're out together. I really just act, just be myself. I think I sacrificed a lot of who I was when I got married because I felt like that was the thing that you needed to do. In turn, my wife has always been who she was. She didn't have that, and we used to bump heads a lot. I'm like, shit, I stopped smoking cigarettes when I met you. You ain't changed worth a bit. And she like, well, this is who I was when you met me. And I can't argue with that. I really can't argue with that because the changes that I feel like I made. She didn't ask me. She didn't necessarily ask me to make those changes. I made those changes because because again, like I felt I made those changes due to what I felt like the outside said I had to do as a man, in a functional marriage. And as I think back on it, like through the years or whatever, I think of like different scenarios. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, Damon.
Yeah. Are your comments coming up, man?
No. I don't think anybody's comment. Are you seeing any comment?
No, I didn't see any.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and finish, bro. Because we only really had 1 to 2 listeners. They don't stay on for long, man. But go ahead, Juquarry.
But like I said, man, just to finish up my thought, man. Like over the years, man, I've been trying to get back to who I believe myself to be before I was married, because that's the person who I attracted. That's the person who attracted my wife. You know what I mean? And compromises that I've made over the years, man. In her eyes, I see those compromises as her seeing a weakness. I hate to say it like that, but because you know how competitive she is. Y'all both know my wife. Y'all know how competitive she is. And when she's got the opportunity to stand out, that's what she's going to do. She's going to stand out. My question to her is, why is it necessary? Why do you find it necessary for me to dull my shine in order for you to shine? And that's not only a question that I have for her. That's a question I've had for, I could ask several women that I've been involved with. Why is it important for you to kind of display a measure of control over me? And let alone, why I accepted that. I can answer that. I accepted it, because like I said, I did it for the sake of the relationship or whatever.
Oh, no, you did it for love, man, not the sake of the relationship, because you too strong a man to do that. You did it for your mate. Let's just keep it real funky now. The things that we do, not to cut you off. Now, hold on. Let me just say this, man, because see, basically, the three of us known each other all our lives. So we known each other through every relationship that we had. So when I see you give something up, you feel it's worth it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I it ain't the sake of it, man. It's the person that you are. But go ahead and finish, man. That's my fault.
I mean, but rarely have I seen those sacrifices reciprocated, man.
Are they supposed to, man? Because you lived with me. You lived with me
I don't think so.
You lived with me for almost 10 years, my guy.
Mhm.
So when you ask that question,
Man, was it
I,
that long?
what was it, about 8 years, wasn't it? Something
I
like
don't
that.
think it was 10
Something like
years.
that. But here's my point. Here's my point. Understanding that sometimes you do not. When I give, is because it's here. You see what I'm saying? No reciprocation because sometimes people don't know how to. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, but that's gonna put you in the mindset, man. You know, because I've been in this mindset, you know, many a times, you know, throughout my marriage, man. You know, just feeling like I'm losing. Like fuck, man. Like, damn. You know, every once in a while, you know, and I would ask, I would say stuff like this to my wife. You know, like every once in a while, you know, it's okay for you not to win. It's okay for you to concede.
Yeah.
It's okay. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But you know, I've recently I've found myself policing that. You know, because if that's not what makes her up, then you know, who am I to elicit that kind of change in her? Can't change nobody.
That's
People
real.
change because they want to. The choices I made it because I wanted to. She didn't pressure me to make those choices.
And
You
look,
know,
that empowers us because that let us know. To me, I'm right along with. I'm right where you are, man. Because my empowerment is it was my choice. If I didn't do it, I wasn't gonna lose shit. You understand? I saw that. So once I made that commitment, it was because it was well thought out, and this is what I wanted to do. That's it. Nothing
Think
more,
about it.
nothing less.
The thing about it, man, is when you doing for your significant other, you know what I'm saying? One of the main reasons that you're doing it, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, man, my own feelings. The reason why I do it is because I can, and like y'all said, because I wanted to. Now, if somebody want to trip and think about that as weak or getting over whatever,
Give a fuck.
that's your issue, not mine.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's your issue, not mine. I gave it to you because I wanted to, and I felt you deserved it. Now, now. That said, if it's not appreciated, then then you have to take a look at that. But
Yeah,
it doesn't diminish what the hell you did
exactly.
whatsoever. I matter of fact, you can't even bring that into the equation. You know what I'm saying? If you're being an asshole now, that don't mean that you know I didn't appreciate doing for you back then. It made me feel good.
Hmm.
So I don't even get all caught up in that madness, man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Because it don't make any sense. And what it does, it bring up resentment and all that unnecessary stuff that might not be true.
yeah,
That might not be true. When you a couple and you start stereotyping each other and start putting labels on each other, and it's like, how do you win in that situation? You don't, because the one thing, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but the one thing that men, I'm talking about men, most men, they hear some stuff, address it, and move it on. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of women hear something that they might deem personal and never forget that shit. And it becomes a part of the relationship, and that's what it is, and that is not healthy.
no, not at all.
That is not healthy.
Not at all.
So putting things in its proper context. Hey, I'm in this relationship with you because I want to be in this relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. Nothing other than that. So whatever I bring to it, it's because I choose to bring that. and it makes me feel good doing so. You didn't convince me of shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You didn't convince me of anything. I convinced myself you deserve this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I digress.
All right. Well, before we move on, I want to say something that I want your both your comments. Just in life in our community now, what has always we've always had that, songs and people say, I don't need no man, right? But now it's become a culture where in our community it is men and women, black men and women are adversarial, single, together. It seems like it's an adversarial relationship. My question is to you guys, and I'm just going to expand on it in just a minute. My question is to you guys, do you see this adversarial relationship? I mean, as a whole, not in your individual lives. I'm talking about as a whole. What is being broadcast on our children, our sons and our daughters. Well, I don't need a man. Oh, if he broke, he this, he that, right? But, and I'm not saying it like I'm upset about it. What I'm saying to you is, sometimes, man, people speak from a place of pain and injury. But when you give somebody a platform when they're in pain, what are they going to say? And you're going to gain allies who are also in pain. I'm talking about men and women, not just women, men too. Bees ain't this, and this ain't that, and she ain't this. So what about you, my man? What kind of motherfucker is you? Because I asked them kind of questions. Not because I'm jumping on the side of the women. No, because the women, they be on some, always pointing a finger, but don't never want to redirect that finger back to themselves. Never. Which is funny. And I'm talking about when they're in a relationship or they have this adversarial thing. Because I'm on social media because of this, what we're doing, right? And I've run into this all the time where somebody like, oh, the black woman is not protected. That hurts me to hear that when somebody says that and throws it out there. Because first and foremost, it's too many motherfuckers who locked up right now because they think they was protecting their woman.
Well, 6 feet under.
Exactly. And vice versa. Sometimes it's brothers who ain't shit. So I'm in the middle. I'm on the median of this shit. I'm not gonna go on both sides because it's not fair to go on either side. It is life, it's human beings. So my thing is, do you guys see that there is an adversarial relationship in our community? And I'm not talking about as a whole. I'm talking about that little snippet that keeps leaking in. Have you guys seen it?
You definitely seen it, man. I mean, it's a societal narrative, man. I mean, you said it before. I mean, it's perception out there that we black men really are no good to their, to the world, let alone households. We're just we're an ever-present burden. Sometimes that bleeds over into our households, man. Seriously. I mean, especially if our significant others aren't shining as brightly as they think they should be shining. I mean, that's just what it is. From what I see.
Damon, what you think?
It absolutely does, man. But when you know better, you do better. When you know, with maturity, man, comes those tools you can use to block out the foolishness, man. Because that's really what it is. You know, if a person, male or female, if a person is hurt and they want to lash out and they want to express themselves, then dumb shit come out their mouth, man, and they include the whole group, which is unfair. You know what I'm saying? And just because you can point out examples, that doesn't mean that you're right. That in this totality, you're not. You're not. You know what I'm saying? And there is a degree of responsibility of the shit that come out your mouth, man. Especially when you got an audience. If you got a young girl or a young dude that's like 14, 15, 16 years old, hearing that foolishness, the next young lady that this brother run into might be your daughter. You understand what I'm saying? Might be your daughter, and then it start perpetuating itself into something other than, like he said, people are doing shit out of pain and hurt. Because if somebody treat my daughter bad because somebody treated him bad, that's messed up all the way around, man. And it gives me that perception over this young brother who, because nobody went to him and said, dude, you can't judge everybody by your situation. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You learn from that, you move on. You know what I'm saying? You don't take that pain and spread it around. See, that's what we do in our community. If you want to know the truth, we take pain and spread it around. You know what I'm saying? Because people want other people to know what that experience, what that painful experience was for them. That's why they identify with the sad music. That's why they identify with that hardcore gangster, I'm finna go at you type rap shit. That's why they identify with it. But everybody know, come on, man, let's be real. Everybody can't be no pimp. Everybody can't be no thug. Everybody can't be no baller. Everybody can't be, you know what I'm saying? You have to be who you are, which is special. But if you don't know or learn how to internalize, be humble, and then move forward armed with information, then you're going to spread pain and you're going to spread hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I think the older that we get, man, I think that kind of subsides, and then you start realizing that you're an individual and you want to be respected as that, then you start respecting people on that level. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully people will start giving out that message. Because the most powerful brother, if there's any sisters listening, the most powerful brother on this earth is that brother who's been humble and moving and governing his life from that humility. You know what I'm saying? From that humility. Not in a weak way, but in a way to say, you know what, I realize I got flaws and I need to be better. And something was brought to my attention. You feel what I'm saying? Something was brought to my attention and I need to be better. You know what I'm saying? Because and the last point, what people need to understand, going into a relationship, if it's something that you're trying to build, you giving your best self to it. That doesn't mean it's going to be appreciated. But if it don't work and it fall apart, you can walk away saying, I gave my best self. They just wasn't ready. See how different that shit is? See how having a different mindset and attitude makes sense? Because you ain't diminished at all. Because like we spoke to first, like we spoke to earlier, I'm going to give you what the hell I want to give you. You know what I'm saying? You're not tricking me or taking shit from me. What you get from me is what I choose. I decide. You know what I'm saying? If you're not appreciative of that, then you're not the one for me. And I'm going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep it moving, not diminished, not shamed, or any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I came in as a man, and I'm walking out as one. Staying is what's going to destroy me. You see what I'm saying? Staying is what's going to confuse you on how not to treat a man or a woman. You know, hey, I can't deal with that. I'm out. I ain't got to call you out your name. You go miss the shit when it's gone. I ain't even got to throw that in your face. You know, but it's all based on the individual, man. I mean, it's how you choose to see the world, man.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to approach your question, Damon. Then we're going to roll into, I'll let you speak on it, Juquarry, if you want to. We're going to roll into, you know, your familiar segment at the end, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember your question, brother?
I was talking about indoctrination.
Okay.
How was being indoctrinated? How was indoctrination? Go ahead. Could you read it back to me, man? Because I want to make sure that.
What does indoctrination mean to our community? No,
Okay.
What does indoctrination of our community mean to you? That's what.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. When I was thinking about it in terms of the question, I was thinking about my own personal experience. And when I think about indoctrination in my life, this is what I mean. I remember the type of kid I was going into school, right? I remember what type of kid I was starting school, let me put it that way. And when I was allowed to be myself, yeah, you know, understanding with boundaries, nap time and all that, snack time, I got all that. But most of the time, it was socializing and being whatever, right? As kids. But as we started moving up, that's when my trouble started. You know what I'm saying? Because I was being put in a situation where I had absolutely no interest. Yes, I wanted to know my ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Yes, I wanted to know all that stuff. But being forced to focus on something that doesn't have or capture your attention, you know what I'm saying, really didn't make any sense to me. So then here come all the labels and shit. You know what I'm saying? And what's the first thing, and it's ironic, it only happened to black kids, but mostly young black males. You know what I'm saying? It happens to us more often than not, no matter how intelligent we are. We are still labeled as this kid that can't stay in his seat, that need to be medicated, that's aggressive, and that's all these different things. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and this is where the indoctrination part comes in, you know, it goes against who you are. Because, you know, if you are an individual, if you are a young person who's coming into their own individuality, and then there's something that's forced on you to make you do something, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy learning environment. You know what I'm saying? And then all different type of things sprout out from there. Behavior patterns. I mean, just imagine, man, you're a fun-loving kid who's innocent and all those things, and all of a sudden you getting calls every day from your teachers from home, all because, you know, you had to use the bathroom, or you fell asleep or whatever. And there's a lot of different variables that come into it, not being able to sleep at home, or not eating enough, or whatever. There are whole different things that come into that come into play. But all of a sudden now that teacher is involved, who's getting your parents involved, and all of a sudden, because you are not doing what it is what society deems, you know what I'm saying, what you're supposed to be doing, you labeled from that. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's indoctrinating the kid to be something other than themselves, man. Other than themselves. And in doing that, all this different social bullshit comes into play. What I mean by bullshit is you being labeled. How many times, man, have you known a kid, man, that was loving and quiet and you know, and innocent and all that stuff? A couple of years later, after being in school, they dropping out, smoking cigarettes, don't want to be there. It's because it's not a place for, you know, it's not a place that's conducive for their personal growth. It's only that when we really think about school as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It is just my opinion, but when you think about school as a whole, isn't that a place where we send our kids for the system to find out who's the smartest to put into a car? Are you following what I'm saying? To put into a car to keep society going. There's no individuality in that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to an open school where they work with kids based on their interests. You know what I'm saying? And they have patience. And they make them feel like they matter. Whereas, you know, they testing you, and that determines your intelligence. That determines whether or not you're gonna make it in society. You know, so for me, that is the earliest form. For me, that is the earliest form of indoctrination.
You know,
Okay.
when I first started going to Fletcher.
Hold on for
What?
1 second. I wanted to excuse us. I'm working on, you know, this is a black folks' home, so they don't care about my internet. Excuse my internet, folks, as we're going in and out. But we're going to make sure this thing is A-OK next time. Go ahead, Juquarry.
Yeah, I mean, when you speak of indoctrination, man, you know, when I first started going to Fletcher Elementary School, man, you know, I would dread going to. I felt like I was always doing something wrong, and you know, I had a bunch of, you know, usually male teachers who would come around and point my flaws out for me. You know, because they didn't think, you know, I was cognitively sharp. You know, they had no idea what my home situation is because they never asked. You know, I mean, how many times, you know, had Pop showed up at a freaking parent teacher conference, and you know, I see a room full of surprised faces. Oh, Mr. Armstrong. Oh yeah. I mean, but you know, you know, from Fletcher Elementary School to Ypsilanti High School, I've always had teachers telling me, you know, well, you know, you're bigger than the other kids, so you're gonna have to be careful. You can't play rough with them, and so and such and such, and that. It put me in a mindset where I always had to be a caretaker of people. That wasn't my nature, you know, because I found it funny that as gentle as I had to be with these kids, they had no regard for the key. You know, I mean, I would be in situations, you know, at recess, you know, where I have back, you know, laughing. You know, but then when it came, my thing stopped, and I was pulled to the side, and I was lectured about how I needed to treat these kids gently, because you're much bigger than these kids, Juquarry, and you're gonna hurt these kids. And you know, one time I remember, I'm asking it, you know, I asked the teacher, well, what about me? They hurt me all the time. They hurt me all the time. You know, and this guy chewed me out. This guy chewed me out. You know, I was in the 5th grade. It was at that point, man, where I withdrew from everybody. I had like 3 friends, man. 3 friends. You know, and they've been pretty much my lifelong friends up to this point. But, you know, as far as, you know, everybody, you know, I was always the fact, you know, school careers and everything, they always had at least one teacher, man, who inspired them to, you know, to do something more, man. But I've never had that. I've never had that. I cannot come up with a name of a teacher, man. Even my black teachers, I could not come up with a name, you know, of a teacher who you know, bothered to give enough of a fuck about me to say, well, look, man, you know, I see this potential in you, and so such and such. You know, why don't you try this? I've never had that experience, man. Never had that experience.
I
You know,
don't think
so
I ever
I
have
stay.
either, man.
You know, and that's a shame. That's a shame, man, because you look at the people who they did, you know, man, and in many cases they may have turned out okay, but like I said, during that conversation with that teacher, what about me? I come here for the same thing that they come here for.
I wish
You
I'd
know,
have knew. I'd have went up there and mopped their asses up.
I mean, that was, it was. I survived it. I survived it. But a lot of my school experiences, man, I look on them, man, and they might have been innocent, but I'm bitter about a lot of that shit, man. Seriously, like the fact that what I just told you guys, man. I never had a teacher who I believe took an interest in me seriously, and in school or whatever, we would have people, who was, certain black female teacher, black male teacher, oh, that's my uncle, that's my, and with no blood, you know, relations at all. I didn't see those people as that because those
Yeah,
people never gave me the time of day.
yeah,
They never gave me the time of day, man. And and I wish we could have them on this platform, man, because that's something that I could say, you know, to their face. In all honesty, you took no interest in me. You took no interest in me. You what you did was you kind of like tried to massage me into being a statistic. You know,
Okay.
my basketball coach, man, my high school basketball coach, man, he handed me my diploma when I walked across the stage and graduated from high school. And he whispered in my ear. He said, "I didn't know. I didn't know he was gonna make it." And I'm like, "Wow, okay,
What the
yeah,
fuck? Really?
yeah."
At that point, he said that?
He
Wow.
said that. I mean, he was joking and laughing. Yeah, yeah. I didn't think he's gonna make it, but yet and still, you know, during those,
I
'cause I
ain't mean
had
to
some rough
cuss, man.
times. Yeah, but yet and still, he never provided me with any options.
that's real.
Wow.
I had to feel my way through that shit.
And
That wasn't the case for everybody
and,
else.
but then you see, that's the thing about it is I had a similar experience, but the one thing I came to the conclusion, man, and as much as I wanted to be a part of the group, because I did, but God always pushed me toward the individual. He always pushed me. You have to be an individual, and that shit is lonely, right? But I can sleep at night. You know what I mean?
I didn't learn that till years later. Keith, shit, I wanted to
Bro.
say, I wanted to be in the in crowd.
Yeah, I did too.
No.
Shit.
I did too. And that's real. I did. Hey, Juquarry, Damon, I wanted to be a part of the in crowd. But the in crowd, and it's not like they kicked me out and, oh, you stay out of here. No, no. The in crowd just,
No,
I
no.
was just, I was uh, cleverly forgotten. Oh, man, where was you? What are you talking about,
Yeah,
man? You know what I'm saying? And, and,
yeah,
and I'm not blaming them because what it is, like I said, God has always pushed me toward to be an individual, to have to stand on the island by myself. And it's lonely, but it is satisfying because everything that I give is genuine. Everything that I feel is genuine. So I have the same emotions as everybody else. But the one thing that because the person that I am and the life that I led is I don't stay down for long. I don't
So,
stay down for long.
so what I'm hearing, man, is all three of us in our experience, because we was put in a position where we were expected to be uh, connected to this group, and told, which was our classmates in school and all that stuff. We had these type of experiences, and that's what I mean by indoctrination, because we were put in positions that was outside of who we was. Because
Yeah,
I personally, I love being by myself. I was never comfortable in crowds.
Well,
You know.
and that's
It
the
was hard
truth,
for me,
man.
man.
So
It was hard for me.
it, it is. But see, here's the thing. I never really spent time feeling sorry for myself, but the shit, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
then what I did was I tell people all the time. Started loving who I am. I got into a relationship with the most important motherfucker that I knew. That was me. You know what I'm saying? And then my guide was me bending over and praying to God. And it helped me to get to know me.
I learned me in
And I get it.
college.
I get it, man. But all those people who I just mentioned or whatever, man, it kind of it busted me up, man, because those, my perception was that those people had no expectation of me whatsoever. And the way that I seen myself was, you can put this motherfucker on my back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the attitude I have now. Put it on my back, fuck it, get out of my way. I don't need no credit for it. You know what I mean? Because I've never got accolades. I don't believe I've ever been properly supported.
No doubt.
Now, if that's not the truth, that's my perception.
Exactly.
I don't want to step on too many toes, but I can only speak the reality that I've lived, man.
There's no doubt.
You're allowed to speak about your experience, brother.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into your segment, Damon. And because, I was contacted by a couple people saying, well, look, you need to shorten your episodes. You need to do this and do that. I said, well, why? Right? Because, then people will want to watch it. I said, hold on. That don't make sense to me. If they want to watch me, they'll fucking watch me. You know what I'm saying? If they want to watch Strong Perspective Podcast, they'll watch it. It don't have nothing to do with the length. You dig? But
what's wrong with watching for a few minutes and then getting your ass off? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to watch the whole joint.
And that's my point, though. Here's my point. The three of you, the three of us know why we're doing this anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that we're doing with each other.
Right.
And whatever guest that comes on. That's what it is. And I'm not saying it in all malice. My point is, understand when you support somebody. I posted something on the line a couple of days ago. There's a difference between critiquing and criticizing. And what makes it the difference is the energy that you give off. You dig? That's what it is. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, Damon, and then we're gonna bring it on home.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna do something a little different this today. And I'm gonna make a couple of bold predictions, brothers. Are y'all ready for this? Okay. I looked at the Detroit Lions schedule. And here it is. My bold prediction is they're going to win at least 11 or 12 games. Mark my words.
My man.
Mark my words. And people that see this and laugh at me, at the end of the season, they're going to have at least 11 or 12 games won. I bet you that. My second prediction, bold prediction. Michigan, when they meet Ohio State at the end of the season, when they meet Michigan, what is it? How many games they play? 12?
Yeah.
Michigan to be 12-0, and Ohio State to be 11-1. I don't know who wins that game, but I'm just going to tell you what the records is going to be. Ohio State is going to be 11-1, and Michigan is going to be 12-0. You know what I'm saying? And that whole playoff join, whatever they do, they're going to be really struggling with that. If Ohio State beats Michigan, they're going to have to struggle with it. You know what I'm saying? Because Ohio State, they're gonna lose to somebody that's like unranked. I'm telling you that right now. And that is my prediction, folks.
Yeah, it is.
That is my prediction, and that's what I had. That's what I wanted to say. Lions gonna win 11, 12 games this coming season. Michigan gonna be 12-0. Ohio State is gonna be 11-1. And when they come together, you know what I'm saying, the winner of that game is going to the Final Four.
Got you. I got you. Well, look.
Ain't nobody gonna say, hold on now.
Whoa. I thought you wanted us to comment on it. I was getting
That's what okay, go ahead.
I'm riding with you when it comes to them damn Lions, bro. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're being generous as far as them 12 wins, but at least 10 I see. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we long-time Lions fans. We don't bullshit when it comes to our Detroit team, man. I'm riding with you.
I see 11 and 12.
Harbaugh, this is the year when he showed me that he's a coach. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say.
I'm you know, I can't even get games around here, man. So I mean, yeah, I'm rolling with you, hip deep.
Damn right.
Mark my words, folks. When the time comes, people gonna be looking like, damn, my man was on point with that.
Hey, look, what we gonna do, because we're an hour and 42 minutes into this thing, and I don't mind because this is some personal shit. We had to wait on our brother Damon. You know what I mean? You know, forgive my my laptop for having, you know, old people joint disease, all slow and crickety and shit. Right.
That's ageism. You can't say that.
Hey, remember, I got to work Monday, brother.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Man, I say that, man, because it's, you know, people are ridiculous like that, man.
I know, but if I'm 57, so that, come on, man, stop playing. I'm right there on the cusp of it. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoy, like I told y'all last night, I enjoy every part of this thing, right? People need to, when the three of us is on here, need to watch these more because we get some great content. I understand you want to watch other people on here too, but we give great content and great context to the way we see life. You know what I mean? So, any last words from you brothers before we sign off?
Me and my brothers got a podcast. Strong Perspective Podcast. Me and my brothers got a podcast. Strong Perspective Podcast.
You just had to laugh, didn't you?
I just had to.
Oh, shit.
My thing, man, my last words is this, man. I heard some shit, man, tonight that I had some idea of it, but I didn't know fully. And it's like, wow, you know, I wish I would have been there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we all, and I'm speaking in terms of us in school and our experiences and all that. A lot of similarities there, man. And I think that there are some people out there that can identify with that shit, especially if you're a black male. You can identify with that. So my hopes is that people, man, stop being, you know, have patience and realize that immediate gratification is not always good. You know what I'm saying? And take the time and look at this particular podcast You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna listen. And you're gonna hear something that might make a difference in your life. You know what I'm saying? That might make a difference in your life, and it's worth it. It's worth taking the time out to do it. So, like Keith said, like my brother Keith said, there's critique and then there's criticism. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to, like whoever made that statement to you, hey, if you showing it up, dude, how the hell is that even helpful, man? You know what I'm saying? You basically saying to me, you don't have patience to, you know what I'm saying, to listen to what I got to say. In the guise of, well, if y'all short it, then okay, so we gonna change up who we are or our feelings or how we express ourselves for you because you don't have patience to sit on your ass and watch.
It ain't gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to watch.
I defy those people to come on the show.
You know,
come on the show.
Come and experience the show.
You understand? They can miss me with that foolishness, man. You know, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but come on now.
And they came with a genuine spirit, but then I had to push back just a little bit. Using your term, Luke, I had to push back. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Have you shared our podcast onto your page? Have you done this, at least this small thing for? Have you shared it with your friends and your content on your page? And I got silent. You dig what I'm saying? So that was all I needed to hear. Because what you do, what ended up happening is, if you're not gonna ride with me, don't pretend to ride with me. Because I see it all. That's all. But look, last words, guys, and we getting off here.
Come on out and fellowship with us. That's what it is. This is a fellowship.
No doubt.
You ain't gonna be
Damon?
attacked. You're gonna be comfortable.
Damon?
I concur with Juquarry. You know, it's all dialogue and you know, give it a try. You know what I'm saying? See what your experience is. It might be a great experience. You know, I enjoy the people. Thus far, I've enjoyed the people we've had on here. You know.
Okay. Well, look. I put it in the beginning. I put it in the middle. I'm going to make this motherfucker a sandwich. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all you have to do. Just go to the spot. Just subscribe. If you don't want to stay, you don't have to stay. But look, if we people push us to the forefront, we got goals we want to meet, and that simple click will help us reach those goals.
Okay, I got one more, another country. Hey, man, shout out to my beautiful wife, man. She was paying attention and watching. Thank you, baby. Love you forever.
I love you, Sister Gail.
All right, sister-in-law. Love you. And I love my wife, too, even though I was low-key complaining about her crazy.
Really?
She's gonna be mad at me for about a week now.
you ain't gonna sleep tonight, brother.
All right. Thanks for watching Strong Perspective Podcast. We'll see y'all next week.